confident in the timeline that you've been given for the vaccine? Are you confident in the process?
Yeah, well, Claire, look, the vaccine's only just landed. It's only just landed, and it's very small doses. So that's why I've sent someone down to the coordination unit to make sure that we get the most up-to-date information. But we are on track to receive some doses by the end of the month. And as I said, that rollout will start small at the Gold Coast. So it's going to start small right across Australia.
Have you been given any clarity about how many numbers of doses Queensland gets and compared to other states? You've obviously would have heard your counterpart Gladys talk about they should have more doses. Any clarity from the federal government?
Well, the New South Wales Premier put that to the National Cabinet and it was rejected. We are part of a federation, and we are all dealing with quarantine at the moment. And it's very important that our hotel quarantine workers get vaccinated first. Now today, shortly, I've asked the Deputy Premier and the Treasurer are actually going to be in Toowoomba, and they're going to be speaking with the Wagners about regional quarantine again. As I've said, time and time again, this is a very important issue that needs to be given due consideration.
The Wagners are pushing really hard again for that proposal. Have you been given any indication yet as to whether the federal government's open to that?
Well, I hope they're open. The indication that the Prime Minister gave me was that he was open to it. But I think you would have seen reports today that Victoria is looking at something similar. It's worked in the Northern Territory. I know my Western Australian counterpart, Mark McGowan, he has concerns as well. As we've said, hotels were not meant to be this line of defence against an infectious disease. So I think everything needs to be on the table, and the Commonwealth needs to look seriously at these proposals.
When would you want a decision to be made by the federal government?
Well, that's a matter for them. But I would hope that what we are seeing is the spread of this infectious disease, and it's first of all we had the lockdown in Greater Brisbane. Before that we saw South Australia, but then we've seen Western Australia, we've seen areas in Perth, we now see Auckland. This is going to keep happening whilst you have hotel quarantine in your major cities.
Do you think the federal government is ignoring the increasing calls to look at a national hotel quarantine program?
Well, the Prime Minister said he's open to it, but I think now what you are seeing is, not just more premiers talking about it, but I think the community wants it to be addressed as well. I think the community is thinking, hang on a minute, we want a bit more certainty in our major populations as well. Our business wants a bit more certainty. And, when you're looking at a regional quarantine model where you have workers staying on that one site, confined close to where the planes are landing in, we need to give due consideration to that. There is nothing more important than keeping Australians safe and keeping Queenslanders safe, especially as this vaccine is rolled out. Now, you would have heard reports today it's going to be rolled out right until the end of October. So that means we are in a high-risk state in relation to hotel quarantine until the whole population has had the vaccine. But I'll have more to say about that later on.
You cancelled surf event down at Gold Coast. Queensland government done more to try and keep that there?
As I've said, we have been able to work with numerous sporting organisations when it comes to COVID-safe plans. And unfortunately, the World Surf League did not come to the party in relation to a COVID-safe plan. I hope in years to come they will come back to the Gold Coast. And why would you not want to come back to the Gold Coast? But at the moment, COVID-safe plans, keeping Queensland safe, keeping the Gold Coast safe, is paramount.
Just on the vaccine, if the federal government did give it the green light, is it a fairly quick process to set up WorldCamp? Have you been given any indication from the Wagners about how fast they could get things up?
Well, the Deputy Premier and the Treasurer are up there speaking with John Wagner today about that, as well as other matters. But you see that there is an appetite for people to construct these regional camps of high quality in regional areas close to airports. So there's reports about Victoria looking at something similar. Queensland's put together a draft proposal, so it's whether or not the federal government wants to work with us on it.
When you say we'll have the vaccine by the end of the month, is that as soon as next week?
Well, that depends on the federal government. So I hope that we will get some early doses next week, or if not next week, it'll be the week after.
And
Yeah, but it's very small. It's starting off very small.
Pfizer does say the first dose is Monday, though. Is there that fear that we're being put on the back of the line there?
No, I don't think so. You'll have to ask the federal government those questions because they are in control of the supply of the vaccine. My understanding is they're starting off very small, and I think that's a good thing. You start off small and then you ramp out your rollout. Okay, so we are very focused on it. As I said, the Chief Health Officer, myself, the Health Minister are meeting this afternoon to once again look at that plan, and we'll be able to update Queenslanders tomorrow or the next day.